Welcome to another episode of the Carpe Fide podcast, where if the shoe fits, you wear it.
And if the truth hurts, you bear it.
I am Justin Gruber.
And I am Jesse Gruber.
And today we hope you will seize the faith. Welcome to another episode of the Carpe Fide podcast. This is episode 159.
Again. Because we had one last week, but it was
just not up to our quality.
It was just something else.
We had to can it.
Every now and then, you just have to throw it away.
And we did. Well, I mean,
we have it.
We have it
file for posterity.
There it exists. Anyway, this is episode 159. We're entitling this "False Narratives."
We should do like a backwards Patreon where we have people subscribe, and then all of our crappy episodes that we don't put up, those are the
If you want to know things that have been said that weren't consumable.
Honestly, the Nathan Weiser one was would probably actually slap.
If you have an hour and 45 minutes to listen to three guys chatty chat, it was a good episode.
You know, we've been called the Joe Rogan of Christian podcasts.
We have,
and I feel like that was probably a misnomer.
It's just not true. We're not 3 hours long, and we don't smoke pot.
Don't have any pot in the studio.
No pot in the studio.
In the studio. Or anywhere else, really. We don't have any
pot.
No.
So,
my neighbors do.
I have pots.
Terracotta?
No terracottas. Nope.
Like coffee pots?
So we're titling this episode "False Narratives." What's not going to happen is we're going to get sidetracked. Nice try, Jess. Good one. Thwarted you are.
Anything to help the people.
Thwarted you are. We're going to be talking tonight about just something that's really, really frustrating that we need to have a good perspective on as Christians so that we can continue to live in this age. And that is just the reality that we've suddenly become very okay with lying in the most ridiculous way. We've accepted it into our culture as if it's just vernacular. And we're going to talk about that tonight.
I know the Canadians are used to it with Justin Trudeau and all.
Trudeau.
But I feel like our current political climate in America has also taken some pointers from Canadians, which is quite unfortunate because the blatant lies and the rewriting of history in literal real time from 2 months ago is it's on full display this election season.
Yeah, it's the absolute, it's just the absolute real time rewrite of history that's so discerning, and it's the way that lies are going forward now that's really frustrating. So it used to be that
boys were boys and girls were girls.
Boys grow up to be the daddies. Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Girls can be the mummies, yes, sir.
That little sweater, man, really spoke some truth.
Truth to power.
Truth to power. Right, back to what we were saying. It used to be that a lie was a lie. Like, you would think of a lie where someone is purposefully telling you that they did something that they didn't do, or purposely telling you they didn't do something that they did do. That's what we think of when we think of lying. The other way, could be a lie that is a half-truth and a deception, and maybe that's something that's been pretty common. Both of those have been fairly common throughout humanity because that's the way we lie to each other. But always also common inside of the political sphere, inside of the public sphere of people trying to garner power and votes. But now there's a whole new form of lying, and it's in Canada, it's in America, it's across the Western world, it's prevalent in the Middle East, it's prevalent in the Far East. It's literally sweeping the globe, and it's the real-time rewriting of history, the blatant lies right in front of you simply by shouting what you want to be true louder.
To the cameras.
Just shouting it loud. If you shout it louder and you do it with frequency, that becomes what is true.
It's like shouting your abortion.
Yeah.
Shout it loud, shout it proud.
It's not, yes. I mean, sure.
I mean, it's not because that wasn't a lie. I was just thinking of an
no
equally
one was trying to say
thing.
They hadn't had an abortion.
That's true. They were just admitting that they did.
So just as our election here in America has kind of taken its new form. This is the new form. This horrible chimera. It's horrible.
I think it's the seven-headed beast from the Revelations.
I'm just not one of them, but sometimes. Nonetheless,
which ones is the seven horns, seven eyes? Is that the good one or the bad one? I don't know.
As it's taken its new chimera shape.
Dispensationals, you let me know in the comments.
As it's taken its new chimera shape, the frequent shouting of what you want to be true has become painfully blatant and obvious. So with the new election race that is between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, we have new attacks. There's new attacks going forward. And honestly, for Donald Trump's side, the attacks pretty much remain the same because it's the same corruption and failings that are still there.
He just makes fun of people, and usually it's spot on.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to lie because they're just so ridiculous anyway.
Yes. So, although he's very hyperbolic. He's always been hyperbolic.
Well, it's a literary tool.
It's just
kind of linguistic tool, I guess I should say.
Literally, how he talks. He talks unliterally all the time. Talks without
very
literally.
So fantastic.
Huge. The shape of attack that's coming from Kamala Harris's campaign, though,
a rhombus,
is to yell loudly about things that we know are true, and telling you them that they're not true. So we'll just go through a couple just so you can understand what we're saying. I think once you understand what we're saying, the key is, what do we do about this? Like, how are we allowing this pervasive stupidity to infiltrate our everyday? It's something that really shouldn't be. The real problem here is we have technology, right? So there's no way around the fact that everything is on video. It's all recorded for posterity forever, and then it goes to the internet, right? It's not just in some tin can in some old person's attic. It's literally
like an email server,
right? It's like literally preserved on the internet forever, and so we can see with our own eyes, and then we're being told loudly and with great frequency that what we have literally seen and heard, what we have watched, is a lie. It's not true. That didn't happen.
That the reality is the lie, and the lie is reality.
Right. And so basically, I don't know if it's like we are just going into a dystopian novel, because it's kind of what seems to be happening.
It is 1984.
But whether 1984, whether Animal Farm, Brave New World, it's all of these, right? Fahrenheit 491.
Gattaca.
Gattaca?
No, not really Gattaca. That's a different topic.
That was a few. Anyway.
Well,
all right, so a couple of these lies. Yeah, no, that's definitely futuristic dystopian. I'm thinking of Gattaca. Yeah, that was what's his name? Ethan Hawke. Yep.
Yeah, it was the Gene ones.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair, and then he snuck onto the ship.
Tried to swim.
Yeah, he couldn't move his legs.
Yeah,
that was when
a genetic disadvantage.
That's when he went from Ethan Hawke to Bob. He just became Bob then. He was
bobbing in the water.
There you go. Okay. All right. Sorry, poor taste. Here's one of the lies. Kamala Harris was never the border czar.
Never.
Nope, never.
Never once did the media reference it.
I know that she was never the border czar, because the media that had previously called her that, and the president that had previously called her that, now they say they never called her that. And since they say that they never called her that,
never happened.
It didn't happen.
Never happened. I love all the montages that people with way too much time,
they cut them back to back.
Those are the true patriots.
The true patriots. They're the montage people of cutting reality.
You used to have to fight wars to be like a real one, but now it's just some basic video editing skills and some time. The technical revolution would like to tell you that this is the new war. This is the new battlefield. Yes, it is. The war for information.
So that's one. Kamala Harris has not journey to the border, mostly because she doesn't want to see how horrible it is and how much crap she has not done that she has to deal with. And no amount of them telling you that what you saw and what you heard wasn't true will actually make it untrue. It's still true.
Well, she's also never been to Europe.
Yes, but Vice President Harris, you were never made the Tsar of Europe. That's what the Germans they tried to do with the Tsar of Europe. So,
you've never been to the border. We've been to the border, but you've never been to the border.
I've never been to Europe. What's the price of tea in China? Who cares? Stop talking. All right.
So bad.
All right. So that's just one. That's just one that's recently taken on a brand new form since Kamala Harris has become a candidate. What are some other things?
Yeah. Well, that one's before I throw another one out. That one's especially egregious.
And grievous. Both of those things.
Grievous.
It's both of those things.
So I'm trying to breathe. Sorry. We're recording this too late at night.
Only one of us is having issues, everyone.
I'm so tired. Well, I mean, it's especially egregious because lots of people have died trying to cross the border. And also so many drugs, and so many illegal aliens, and so many cartels, and so many sex trafficking, and like it's so bad, and they're just trying to wipe it all away.
I mean, it's also
they're using a little baby wet wipe, and they're just scrubbing it off.
The thing that's really sad for me is that it is clear that God has appointed nations and their borders since the beginning of time. He isn't sovereign over those things, and when we ignore that and then just ignore a nation having borders, what we're essentially ignoring is what God has done, and that's why that is like prima facie, and then all of these other things fall from it. Like all of this other evil is coming because we just simply didn't acknowledge the one thing.
It's like she listened to that Toby Mac album, Diverse City, and was like trying to make it happen in every city, but she was trying to make it happen the wrong way. Like Kamala, that song was about evangelism.
Border.
What? Diversity, we're colorful good. It's like a freak show.
This is why Jesse is not a world famous Christian rap artist. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. So another one. And I don't know if the Pennsylvania voters have heard this, but Kamala loves fracking. She absolutely loves it now. I don't know if you heard that one.
Yep, I heard that one.
She's totally for it.
Yeah, it's ironic because I was pretty sure on the 2020 presidential candidacy run, she said that she would explicitly ban fracking. I think the word ban was used. And not like when you band together.
No, she wasn't trying to ban the frackers together.
No, she was trying to ban the fracking from ever.
Forever.
But now...
I mean, maybe she changed her tune because they depleted the oil reserves.
Now...
What was the thing?
She loves fracking.
She loves it. She loves it more than she loves her own family.
Which is ironic because as of us recording this today, we found out that her VP pick... literally
also loves fracking.
Forced Minnesota into going like carbon neutral by 2028 or something ridiculous.
I thought it was like 2040.
I don't know. It's carbon neutral though. It means like he wants to. I don't know if you're aware of this, everyone, but for those of you in Canada, those of you in Canada, you'll understand. But if you're in Texas, this won't make any sense to you. In Minnesota, the winters get like negative 40 degrees. You really need to have a very reliable source of power. Your electrical grid can't be dependent upon like wind or, God forbid, in the midst of the deep, dark winter,
like
sun.
So many people will die. It is like the planet Hoth. They are going to be looking for tauntauns.
And to slice open and crawl inside of the tauntaun.
It's just going to be moose. It's just going to crawl up inside the moose.
Shoving them in there. Oh,
so many moose will die.
Why does it smell so bad inside this moose?
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway, yeah, so that's a lie. Also, you may have heard that Kamala Harris believes we need to have a serious conversation about a national government gun buyback program, which is essentially what every tyrannical dictatorship has used to segue into de-arming its citizens.
How's that going?
You
for
may
you,
have heard she
Australia?
said that. I want you to understand. Not well. You may have heard that she said that, but I want you to know. She never said that. Never. She's never been about taking away any of your constitutional freedoms. And she certainly would never want to take away your guns. Your right to defend yourself against a tyrannical government. She would never want to do that. I've been informed.
No.
From her own mouth.
She'll buy you guns and send you guns. That's how much she loves guns.
She loves guns.
She loves guns like stormtroopers love guns.
Yes.
In the hands of the government.
You're going to get the gun in the mail, and it's going to be like a replica of a stormtrooper pistol, and you're going to pull it, and it's going to be her saying, pew, pew. Oh, she does love guns. She gave me a gun.
Or just
pew,
her,
pew.
her laughing.
Oh, gosh. That would actually work as a defense deterrent, though. That would stop people.
That would probably be
oh my gosh.
more useful than a gun. Can you imagine an intruder?
Weaponizing Kamala's laughter? That's awful.
An intruder breaks into your home in the middle of the night, and then she just starts hearing Kamala laughing.
We need to be more. Whoa, go. Why are you laughing? No one else on this platform is laughing. Why?
That's going to be in Home Alone 8 or whatever they're up to now.
8T.
80.
Sorry.
I just had one. Oh, did you hear? I don't know if you heard this. Maybe our listeners have.
Maybe.
But Kamala Harris is like super tough on crime.
I had heard that. And then she went and nominated the governor of Minnesota, who helped to utilize the money she raised to get rioters out of jail in Minnesota, and then he helped get them out of jail in Minnesota. So I guess she's tough on crime unless she's bailing you out of jail. It's so bad.
Yeah, she was definitely bailing the criminals out of jail. And I mean, it wasn't just her, to be fair. I mean, it was like everybody.
No.
Remember how Governor Murphy, he was just like, "Oh, mask up or you'll go to prison." And then they just like let all the prisoners out because of COVID.
Yeah, you mask up or you'll go to prison. We have openings now. We don't want to keep those poor people in there. They could get COVID.
We'll lose the tax dollars.
They could get COVID, so we'll put you in instead.
We'll put the church people in prison and let the sex rapists out. Love is love,
especially in prison. All right. I don't know if you heard this, Jesse.
Anything
I don't know if
goes
you've heard
in
this.
prison. What is this? What is this?
She has excellent foreign policy.
Oh yeah.
Now,
you saw how she commanded the Afghanistan pullout.
No, I've heard. Now you may have heard that she was. And you may have heard her say this. You may have saw a video of her saying these things. I heard that she was the last one in the room.
Last one in the room.
When the decision to pull out of Afghanistan was on the table with President Biden. Not only that, but she was very okay with what was decided. And you may have heard her say that. You may. But I'm here to inform you that is not a reflection at all of anything that could possibly be even intimated that is her foreign policy. That is absolutely not her responsibility. It's definitely Joe Biden's responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
She had nothing to do with it. She doesn't even know she was there. She doesn't even remember the pullout from Afghanistan.
She doesn't. Never mind.
Can't say. Don't. This is not that time.
It was going to be a Willie Brown joke.
I know. That's why I said don't.
Oh, Willie. Yeah.
Fun fact, I did change one of my fantasy football team's names already this year. We haven't even drafted. In fact, I haven't even renewed that league. But nonetheless, I changed my team name to Win It for Willie 24 with a picture of Kamala and Willie Brown from 30 years ago. That's funny.
I heard they found a picture of Kamala on Trump's plane or something like that.
What's that sound?
Harris.
I don't know why this is not one of the lies. We're way.
No, I know. I'm down the rabbit hole.
You don't need to go down this rabbit hole.
Picture
Why would it be a problem?
I want to see. Kamala Harris was on Trump's plane. Picture allegedly exists as VP's ex-lover exposes her. Maybe I don't want to look at this picture. There seems to be some exposing.
I don't know why you're... All right, audience, I'm so sorry. I don't know where he goes sometimes. I have thought...
It was just tangential.
He's like, hey, let's have... It's a short episode. We can have a nice quality impact. We can speak some truth here. Get people on board and flowing with the scripture and the Bible and a good Christian direction over these lies. Also, hey, did you see that picture that Kamala Harris once flew on Trump's plane? No, who cares? What are you talking about?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Anyway, so we've covered the border.
I don't know.
Feel shame. This is just for shame for you.
I feel shame.
Do you feel shamed?
Exhaustion. Yes.
Thank heavens. Fortunately, you're so tired you won't remember that you were shamed tomorrow when you wake up.
That's probably true.
So we talked about the border. We've talked about. What was the next thing you said? Daggone it.
I don't know. I wasn't planning on doing a recap.
Well, my recap's horrible.
I don't know.
But I've been yelled at so much that I don't even know what she's lying about anymore.
Have you heard about how much Donald Trump loves Project 2025, though?
Yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah. He hasn't read that.
Did you know that J.D. Vance hates women?
Oh, I did hear that. Well, I mean, just look at him. He looks like he would.
Did you know that he hates
It's the beard.
Did you hear the one news anchor? We know what he means. He means he wants a certain kind of offspring, white offspring. With the irony being that J.D. Vance is married to a completely second-generation Indian American and has Indian American children.
So hold on.
His children are just as much are more Indian than Kamala Harris is, and she's half Indian.
You know what? I'm definitely seeing a thread here because Kamala Harris did spend a lot of time growing up in Canada, and I think that maybe that's what did her in. After she went on school buses for like a couple of years. She
was educated in America. She went to the hard schools of Compton. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and Oakland
with Snoop D-O double G.
Yeah.
Wait, who did the Compton song?
She didn't go to a near private upper crust high school in Canada.
No, that wasn't her.
No, she's a product of our public education system.
She's
said that 1,000 times.
She's just like us.
She is just like
us. To J.D. Vance's point, though, he is so right about the cat women. I mean, they are giving him so much hate for that, and he's trying to walk it back as best as politically correct.
He's like, look, I didn't mean cat women. You know I meant idiots. You know I meant disgusting, evil, reprobate people that have no investment in this nation because they hate children.
Literally, the pandemic of people that treat their animals as children, who are single and live in cities, is just out of this world. Did I
tell you about the spider lady, the lady that has a pet jumping spider?
Yeah. Becca's friend.
Well, friend's a term that you're used just banning
about.
Acquaintance. That has a pet jumping spider that paid legitimate money for a jumping spider. I don't know if you're aware of this, humanity. Jumping spiders are ubiquitous to every corner of the world. They're all around us.
I killed one just the other day.
And I don't mean all spiders kind of jump. No, I mean literally jumping spiders. The little tiny ones that are cute. And you get near them and they go boop, boop, boop. Yeah, that jumping spider. Yeah, they paid for that one.
I heard she
expressive.
she
has a terrarium for it.
I heard she bought a
jumping spider.
I heard she bought a spotted lanternfly too. I'm just kidding. She probably did it.
That's peak communism right there.
That is peak communism right there.
So here's the problem. We have all these. Did you want to keep going? We could do more. Now that we've gone away from her policy positions and we've gone into actual attacks that she's making. There's a million. But here's the point. Just because we have a large volume that is both loud in volume and also a large quantity in volume, right? It is both loud volume and also voluminous. That method,
both individualistically and corporately.
I just want to be unburdened by what has been.
I can say what J.D. Vance can. All right.
So we have to treat the lies as lies. there's never been a more important time. Like, I think because it's said there's so many things that we've seen that aren't true. Like, we've seen them with our own eyes. We've heard them. It's like, these things that we're talking about, we've lived through these. If you're older than 5, you've been alive since the last Democratic presidential candidacy race. You were there for it. So none of these things are in any way disputable. The question then becomes, what do we do? Because I think there's a fear when someone's like loud and like repetitive, that we don't want to say, we don't want to interject what is then true. Like, it's almost like we feel like we're bullied in our ordinary context, like in our ordinary lives when we're talking with someone and they're like, "Oh no, what, this is true," and you're like, "Well, no, that's actually not what happened. Remember?" And they say, "No, but this is what they're saying. Like, we've heard this like again and again. This is what's true." And you're like, "But no, the video." Like, and so there's this fear of pushing back too far. Like, how do we meet this? How do we meet this new type of lying? How do we address it head on?
Yeah, I remember being in a Facebook thread about drag queens. They're like, they don't put on shows for children, and I'm like, what do you think everyone's upset about? I'm like, there's videos of them twerking in children's faces at these events. There are children throwing rings on dildos at county fairs. Like seriously, you really? And I link it up, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, well, I don't condone that." I'm like, "Well, yeah, freaking neither do I." And I don't think you should condone that. And I think you should be vocal about not condoning that. Maybe join us. Join us and being like, vocal against it, because it's.
You think
it's
we're
true.
upset about drag queens that just walk the street? No, we look at them; they're disgusting. And we we ignore them. We pretend they don't exist because we don't want to even allow...
You don't try to hit them with your car?
We pretend they don't
street
exist
drag queens.
because we don't want to acknowledge the atrocity that they are and the plague upon our sidewalk.
Oh, my gosh.
But when they're doing it in front of children, suddenly we say, "I'm sorry, I must protest."
I will go to jail, so you don't have to do that anymore.
This is an issue.
Yeah. I was going to say one other thing. I forget what it is.
You were in a Facebook thread.
I was in a Facebook thread. I finished that thought, and then you said, "Well, what do we do?" And I think that the natural tendency when someone is loud and they're coming at you with information, because lots of people don't want to be confrontational, is to just back down, or just avoid that conversation, or just let them be loud. But I don't think that they're. I think especially in this time, and I'm not super old, but I have talked to Pops, and he says that this is a unique political landscape compared to when he was growing up. So that's all I have to go on. But
this is new. I mean, I think we need to acknowledge this is a novel way to rewrite history.
Yes, and I think that we have to train ourselves to not back down from that, because the truth is what dismantles lies. The light, when it is shown into darkness, the darkness loses its power.
Proverbs.
And Ephesians 5, I want to say, too. I mean, like, that's what the truth does. That's what light does to darkness. And so, like, fortunately, I don't know many people that say this, but there are still people who are just like, "Oh, well, politics doesn't really affect me. I don't really need to be involved in politics." And sure, don't make politics your God. But if you want to love your neighbor well, like the Bible says, you should have at least an understanding of what the heck is going on,
right? So
that you can speak truth to it, because that is the only thing that's going to dispel the lies. Yeah. Like when one of my liberal friends comes up to me with an article or a trope or one of these things, and I actually give them a counterpoint, or I pull up the article that is the opposite. They truly have never even seen that before. They like, people are in such a bubble that they don't know. Like generally, conservatives are better at knowing both sides of the argument than liberals are. They truly have blinders on when it comes to these issues, because when feelings are your God, you don't need to know both sides. You only need to know your side. And when they see these things and they're exposed to them, they're like, oh, okay, and it at least gives a second pause and opens the door for more conversation, But you're right. We have seen these atrocities. We are in a unique time where we have seen the people clinging to the wheels of the aircraft carriers taking off from Afghanistan as they are hundreds of feet in the air and falling off. We have seen that with our own eyes.
Yeah.
For weeks we saw it. And now they're telling us that this is the best thing ever for the world. How can you say that? And the news is so good at burying these types of negative things for their candidates that we have to be vigilant. And really, we have more tools now than we have in the past to be able to expose these lies and to bring the truth into the matter.
Right. The weapons supplying Hamas and Hezbollah are the weapons we left in Afghanistan. Like we know this. Like we know this is true. So to try to rewrite history, to try to say I take responsibility for something, and then 6 months later, after you've lied about the condition of the president, and then he shows everybody that you've lied about the condition of his health, right? Like you've perpetuated the lie, and then he was like, "Hold my beer, I'm actually way worse than you thought."
You've perpetuated the lie so far that you actually remove him from the ticket,
right? But then you
because
don't get,
you know it's true,
right? Then you don't get to go back and say, "Oh no, I had nothing to do with that." I don't even remember. I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that. Like, well,
he
we
was
all
great
do.
up until that
You said
day.
it right here. You said right here that you were there. You made the decision, right? I mean, that's why he had you there. He wanted to have your voice. You were in the room. You were okay with it, and so this is what happened. And you're like, "No, that's horrible. I would never. I would never." But we saw it. We saw what you said. We heard you say these things, right?
Remember the news headlines after Trump got shot, where it was just like loud noises at Trump rally.
Yeah, Trump falls down. Trump falls down.
Trump fell at like, no, this isn't Joe Biden going into Air Force One.
You know.
He got shot in the head. You morons! Like everybody knows it. We saw it. We saw it on TV.
And they're doing. This is why it's important. And this is why if you're not informed, you're like, oh no, Trump fell down at a rally. Like, you have to be informed. As soon as we see something that we think is questionable, we should be immediately wanting to know, was that questionable? And it's not like any of these things are hard to find out, because even with Google, like, you may have to scroll a while to get to the truth, because Google also hates truth.
Well,
you can
it
also
was
use
just
any other search engine, but you can find the truth to these things really easily, and then just move on with your life. But at least then you have the truth, and you can communicate the truth when people are communicating lies.
Well, did you see how Google completely scrubbed news of Trump's shooting? Did you see that?
Well, I'm only because
It was
Elon
a
Musk has
glitch.
been all over that stuff.
It was a glitch, guys. It was definitely not on purpose. Like, we believe that for a second. Like, but it's really happening right before your eyes. And you like, we can't be complacent about this stuff, and you sound like a conspiracy theorist. But when you're watching it happen and you're living it and you're experiencing it, and it's verified happening, like, you're not the crazy one. The crazy one is the evil one trying to lie to you about it.
Right. And the people that are believing the lies, I don't even consider them evil. I could just consider them sluggards. They're lazy. They're lazy consumers of what they want to hear. And they're not going to try to find the truth. But when you do present counterpoints to them, something they haven't heard, it is something that wakes them up to say, wait a second. How come he has a video of Kamala literally saying she wants to buy back her gun? Why did Kamala actually say she wants to ban fracking? Why is it that Kamala said she was in the room on the decision for fracking? Why is it that Kamala, her DA's office literally had to let out like thousands of prisoners because they mishandled evidence, right? Like when you show them these things actually existed. Then all of a sudden we have to totally change the narrative. It's like, why is Kamala with Joe Biden at all? She literally said that he was an ardent racist and had friends with the KKK that forced her, right,
to ride a school bus all of her life,
right? Which,
in
by the
Canada,
way, is not true.
Which is also not true.
At no point did was he senator of Canada. So just FYI,
they don't even have senators in Canada.
All of these things are lies. And when you can be able to present them, it's important. And you're like, those aren't that important. I'm like, I know, but you know what's important, and every Christian should be very pro, is truth. The Christian should be deeply concerned with what is true, because Jesus Christ claimed to be truth. And our God doesn't deal in lies.
A Sith never deals in absolute. Wait. Sith always deals.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes is the line.
Oh, which is ironic.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Thank you. Yeah. I just wanted to do the Sith voice.
But it wasn't a Sith that said that.
No, but Emperor Palpatine would agree.
Emperor. I like it when he's got that. I like the robot chicken Emperor Palpatine. Oh my goodness! Oh, he's crying. Oh my goodness! Can you hear? Oh, it's.
Oh my gosh!
It blew up, dude. I didn't even finish the payments. Do you know how much it's going to cost me? Robot chicken. All right. Anyway.
Oh man.
All right. When you can know the truth, you can engage people with the truth. When you don't know the truth, then you're going to continue to be availing yourself to this loud, repetitive method of the new truth. They did this. They're trying to rewrite the history of America. They're trying to rewrite the history in World War II. They're trying to rewrite the history of China. They're trying to rewrite all these histories just by saying something and then saying it again and again and again and again and again and again. We all were there for the summer of 1619. The 1619 Project was all that you could hear until historians were like, that's not exactly what happened. And then all of a sudden we had to have a conversation about it. And now they won't say 1619 Project anymore because it was kind of like they let someone who has a kindergarten education make stuff up and then make a whole thing inside of a news publication. And it was wrong. And then they gave her a job as, a tenured professor at a prestigious university where she gets 6 figures.
And she gets to teach more kindergartners about history.
Gather round, kids. Are you white? Yes. Say, I am an oppressor. I'm an oppressor. Are you black? Yes. Take their things. Wait, this is a college class?
They're yours. They're yours now.
This is the voice of the unheard. It's called rioting. Why do we make stuff up? And all right.
Well, can I? You check me on this. You fact check me on this.
All right, fact check.
But when
you told me I didn't need to bring my computer this time.
No. You don't need your computer. You need your computer. But when you as a Christian are disengaged in any area,
right,
and there are lies flying at you, and you do nothing to correct them, if you do nothing in your power to correct them, I feel like you're probably part of the problem. I feel like, and I don't want to judge everyone's motives here, because there is a place for silence. Jesus was silent in front of his accusers to fulfill prophecies and other things. But also, it's cowardly. It's cowardly to desire your own clout and comfortability over letting the truth reign over the darkness.
Yeah, you've become an accessory to the lie, right? An accessory to the deception.
Murder.
Right. So in becoming an accessory, and this is probably the most important thing, because we are both firmly of the camp that the church, in giving up the ground on the truth, has lost its ability to impact the culture the way Christ intended it to. The way we know it did impact the culture. If you haven't read Acts, you should read it. The church standing and living its life in view of the public with the truth, speaking the truth, changed the culture. We are here today because Christians were willing to stand up in the face of intense persecution and live the truth boldly.
Ready for this? This was kind of an eye-opening to me.
Okay.
So I was looking into Social Security benefits for Remy with his disabilities and everything. This paragraph was on the Gloucester County, New Jersey Social Services website.
That's the county in which we live.
Yes, we are members of the Gloucester County. You ready for this? And tell me what makes you raise an eyebrow. Okay. The Gloucester County Division of Social Services, formerly the Gloucester County Board of Social Services, was established in 1932 under the New Jersey statutes annotated Title 44 to provide for widows and children.
Oh, that sounds like a biblical language.
A government entity stepping in to do what the church has neglected to do. And we wonder why we've got these issues now.
And I don't want to just put it on the church. I want to acknowledge the reality that the government, there was a time, this is where it gets muddy. There was a time when the church and the government worked together on these things, because the government was informed by the Christian ideals as well. That was the intention.
That's true.
Behind
That's
it.
true.
I don't want to lose that.
But today,
right? Today is not the case. Today, all of Christ is gone, and we're still considering the evil that the government does, where they steal from other people to give it to other people, as charity. But Christ is gone from it. There's no charity there. There's theft and mismanagement. I say mismanagement. That's a nice way of saying, like, there's theft, and then there's the blatant laundering of money into the pockets of other people.
right?
And
Like my claim is going to take 4 to 8 months to process because Tim and Daryl want to claim, mental health incapacity so they don't have to get a job at Burger King. Like that. That's the reality of the situation. Is the money doesn't go to people who truly need it.
one of the most abused forms of welfare is food stamps. It's also one of the most plentiful because food stamps are then able to be taken and turned into other products or cash in themselves, and then be abused. And yet we believe we're doing a net good, and it's so sad. It's so sad because the church used to actually be able to do a good job with charity, and they used to provide accountability and actually move people in a positive direction because there was the influence of community over it, which held accountability and consequences. But there's none of those things with the government because the government wasn't intended to provide those things. The government is intended specifically to wield the sword for right against unrighteousness, right? That's specifically what they're designed to do. And so when we start giving the government the realm of the church, we shouldn't be surprised when the government is not good at it. That was not what the government was ever supposed to be doing. The church was intended to be the bearer of what is true. Why does the government not know what is righteous? Because if half the population of professing Christians in America believe abortion isn't murder, why would we think that the government would in any way think abortion is murder? Half of the Christians don't think it's murder. Like, the church has abandoned its call, right, to be the standard bearer of Christ. We've played to itching ears, and so that's why this whole new perverse, just shouting a lie loud, even though you saw it, makes it true, is that much worse because we feel intimidated not to stand up. Christian, there's no better time for you to actually speak the truth. Like, Peter is not joking when he says, always be ready to give a reason for the hope that is within you. It's not a game. If you don't know what is true, if you don't know what the word says, if you don't know what's happening in your culture, if you don't know what's happened in your history, then you're not going to be able to speak well into these things. I'm not saying you need to have a degree in it. You can spend 5 minutes reading an article, and you can have a good working understanding of it. The amount of information we have that's actually been boiled down into really great content is almost innumerable at this point. Oh, that Socrates would have had access to this much information. I say that, but then again, he'd probably just be binging, like, Desperate Housewives. That's just the default man position, right? Anyway.
Yeah. I was trying to find the Chuck Schumer quote where I think he was presiding over a...
This has been a grassroots effort from the ground up.
Oh, my gosh, not that one.
In the past 6 hours when we decided Kamala Harris was going to be the president.
Not that one. No, it was he was responding to somebody, and he said something to the effect of, and they brought their responsibility for God, and he said something to the effect of, well, God's not in this chamber, or something like that.
That was Chuck Schumer. Yep.
Yeah, and it's like my how far like we've fallen, like.
Yeah, from praying, from requiring prayer. By the way, one of the people that required prayer during the Constitutional Convention was Ben Franklin, which everyone's like, he was an open deist. He didn't believe in God, except that he wanted God's direct prayer and blessing over the providential leading and the establishment of the Constitution. Like, there he is, Constitutional Convention. We should pray. We should probably have prayer over this all the time, every day. Good job, Ben. You're not really you don't believe in God. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Christian, if you don't know the truth, then you won't be able to engage with it. And then if you do know the truth and you're not willing to engage with it, then what's the difference? Like, that's the real takeaway here. You can't let them shout lies loud and long and let it stand to rewrite what you know is untrue. We have to take the word of God know what has happened, know what has been said, and then be able to speak into that. And I'm not saying you have to be an aggressive jerk. Don't be an aggressive jerk.
Nobody likes aggressive jerks.
No, but if you ask good questions, just postulating, oh, have you ever considered this? And just throw out article. Dude, most of these things are encapsulated in memes by now, okay? Like,
That's true.
Like, you can just show them a screenshot of a meme usually, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize. I never thought about it that way. And we can begin to have conversations. But what we can't allow is loud, vociferous people to rewrite what is clearly and blatantly lies.
Yeah.
And it's just a new disgusting form of lying. And it's so much more stupid than all the other forms of lying. You used to be able to create a backstory.
Yeah, it's a totally
right?
unintellectual thing.
Like you used to be able to create a backstory, make it plausible, and then you could get away with it. And now it's like,
but you can't even make backstories because it's all on camera.
Right, now I don't need to make a backstory. I just say the opposite thing a lot, and it's true.
Right.
So you didn't even try.
People forget.
You didn't try to lie to me. I'm insulted at your lack of effort. Do better. Do better, you lying politicians.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a good bit.
I hope that you can identify it, and I think like we need to call it something. What should we call it when people do this? No, we had nothing. We should have planned that out.
Turn tail, and I don't know.
Loud lies, loud lying, loud, live loud. Let's get loud.
Live, laugh, lie.
But you need to be able to call it out and identify it so that you can speak well the truth. And if you don't feel bold enough, I would do another weird thing. Encourage you to pray to be bold enough to actually speak. It's like a real thing. Like you have to be praying in order to be speaking what God has given you to speak. Like it's not a game. Prayer is not a joke. Praying to God for the courage. I mean, the literal prayer of I believe,
Jabez?
Lord, help my unbelief. No. Wait, that's that magical prayer that gives me money, right?
Yes.
It increases my land and multiplies my generations. Yeah, okay. That's a bad tangent.
Sorry, everybody.
But pray for the courage to be able to speak and don't waste your life digging into these truths, but know the truth and speak it, because indeed the truth does set us free.
Amen.
Amen. And with that, dear Christian, Jesse's going to go get some sleep. And
Hey, maybe.
hopefully. And with that, we also hope that you this day will
Seize the faith.